Welcome to another Friday night. This is On Fire Family, and this is Happy Hour. Cheers.
Cheers.
If you are new to us on a Friday night, what we do is we pull up Yacht World, we pour a couple of drinks, and we go shopping for our Great Loop boat. Our family of four is departing on the Great Loop in a little under a year now. If you saw our last video, that was our 12-month countdown that started. And so we are getting serious about shopping for our Great Loop boat. And while we were out for Memorial Day weekend, which was last weekend for us, as we're recording this, we got to go on a boat. There was a cruiser that was at a public park dock that we had docked for a little time to let the kids play on the beach and do some barbecuing, and graciously let us come aboard.
I talked our way onto the boat, basically.
His Bayliner 4588. And it was an excellent boat in excellent condition that fits a lot of the criteria that we're looking for in a Great Loop boat. And so we are very thankful that we got to set foot on it, because in this hot boat market, it's difficult to get on some of these boats. And especially since we are on the West Coast and shopping on the East Coast, that makes it even more difficult. So we're thankful that we were able to do that.
That was a treat.
And so we thought we would just kind of rehash that and click through a boat. Not one that we would seriously consider, just because of its location in Florida, maybe its condition. It's priced a little under, a lot under.
We're like, what's wrong with that?
Maybe,
but we can walk through and talk about what we noticed in the other Bayliner. And we didn't videotape that because it just kind of...
It was already awkward to be asking someone, hey, do you mind if we just come on your boat right now with zero notice?
I mean, they couldn't resist my winning personality, but... The introvert was a little bit like, what are we doing? But, you know, the whole time I was like, thank you, this is so great.
But there's only so much you can look at from a Yacht World ad. You really need to set foot on these boats to really get
so it was great
an
to see the layout
of the layout. And
in person.
On these Bayliners, one of the things that we've really had trouble wrapping our head around is that third stateroom office
puzzle door
that is right next to the master. And so we got firsthand in the boat knowledge about that, and although it's not ideal, it is workable.
Yeah.
And then we've reviewed previously, I'll link below, the 4788, so kind of a stretched version of the 4588 that has an extra couple of feet.
Which would be nice, and we found another 4788 we might review in the future, but the 4588 is totally serviceable.
So let's click through, and we'll kind of tap our memories from last weekend and talk about the Bayliner 4588. It's a good looking pilot house Motoryacht.
I didn't really notice it until this picture, but when we were staring at the 4588, he said, see how it's trapezoidal? And I was like, no. But this picture really shows it. So, I mean, not my favorite, but I don't think it's weird.
I think it's weird, and but it's not. After being on one and seeing the interior space and watching it go by, it doesn't look terribly weird and boxy like I was kind of worried about. So it's a pretty good looking boat. The radar arch is kind of set back, and it seems long and maybe an odd proportion, depending on how that bimini top is.
It does
on
seem
the fly
pretty
bridge.
far back, yeah.
But, so it's kind of weird. It's like a weird spoiler on a
we saw one today. We saw like a
Honda Civic.
Subaru.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an Outback, but like a sedan, and it had like a spoiler that looked just like that. And I was
That's what that reminds me of.
That's not that cool.
Yeah, so this has dinghy storage up on the top with a crane that gets you up there, which is nice.
I hope that we can see it because it's covered.
Big
so
open
I'd like to see what the dinghy looks like.
Cockpit in the back, which is we thought more generous than the pictures have shown on some of these. It was actually a place where you could kind of hang out, which was good.
Right.
And a fairly flat bow for hanging out, and a built-in couch.
Yeah, so the built-in couch is nice, and then we can also, since it's flat, we can have chairs out there. So that's another.
Yeah, and really generous walk-around sides for line handling and fenders and locking and things. And then pilot house door out to that
and
side.
that's a great cockpit. There's
Yeah.
actually quite a bit of room back there to have 2 more chairs.
It does have from here kind of a ladder situation to get up, but from inside it was a little more steps than ladder. It's steep, but to get you up into this door.
I love the retro look of these couches up here on the flybridge with the blue stripes. I think
it's definitely not original. It's like boat catalog kind of material, but fine. It looks a little weird sitting there.
I like it.
Yeah, it's fine. Good home stations, both
I like
top
that
and
home
bottom.
station with the love seat.
Another shot of the dinghy there. Into the pilot house. And this looks like some freestyled sponge painting.
Camo
Plastic.
style?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure about that. But it looks like it's a comfortable seat. But,
like an old radar looking thing.
but the rest of this room is amazing. So, I mean, I guess we'll paint it. We would paint it. This is not what we're getting, but.
Yeah. All the breakers and control panel, brains of the boat here in the pilot house. Another panel over here.
But,
look at the helm.
So
but this, behind the helm
so
station,
fantastic.
is nice. And it would be great for some dining, some homeschooling, just
So it fits
office
a
work,
lot
separate space.
Of great space to just sit and lounge in 45 feet.
Yeah.
I think it's really.
We talked. Looks like a great.
Yeah, we talked about the cruiser's 4450 being a great use of space, and it is, especially for having an aft cabin. And these 3 bedrooms are all up front together. But I think that the non-bedroom space is better situated here.
Yeah, the living area is definitely nicer. And I was, when we walked through, I was kind of struck by how open this really does feel from the pilot house down into the salon and the galley, and then forward into the staterooms. Like this all felt like one big living space.
Right.
And although this isn't gigantic, this was a very comfortable area.
Yep.
And I think the boat we were on didn't have the table here. It was just a couch.
No, and
maybe a coffee
they
table.
had an actual couch, so it was comfier than this.
Yeah. But either way, this would be. Yeah, I don't know where else you're gonna have a couch other than right there. So.
Right, because there's just. I mean, you could have a love seat across where these chairs are. And this was bright and open, but when you go down into the hallway, it was pretty dark.
Yeah, let's see if the pictures reflect that here. I didn't notice if there was a wet bar on that other.
I didn't either, because we were just like, hey, thank you, and just trying to go really fast. And
but the galley was really nice, very well laid out, and with that kind of island sticking out, it didn't feel like a boat galley at all. It felt very open and
right, and there
awesome.
was
Like you'd want to entertain and be able to be in the galley. You're not,
and that's
you're
what
not
was
a galley
happening.
down in a cave.
Their daughter was sitting on the couch, and the wife was, I think, cutting up something, and they were just conversing, and it looked, like.
But yeah, you could put something over here other than these chairs to have a little more cozy feel. And then down into the cave of the staterooms forward. Yeah. And so this is the.
Granted, I also had sunglasses on, so that might have made it a little bit dark.
Maybe some preparation in the future. So this is probably our daughter's stateroom.
Yeah. So this is midship.
Yep. Queen to port. Not huge. A little bit of storage. This is the guest or VIP day use head with a stand-up shower and a door, which is nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then steps up to get to the forward.
So this is the master.
Yeah.
So being forward is definitely not my forte. Just because if you've seen in the past, we hate the chine slap, so I'm not sure about that on this boat. And it doesn't look, as luxurious as a full walk-around aft cabin.
Yeah, I'd say that's one of the... I think the stateroom layouts, this is the biggest downside of this boat.
Yeah.
That this doesn't feel luxurious for us, and then our son's stateroom would be...
like a couch.
Right next to us. And then this is the master head.
Which is nice. It has a tub.
Yeah, it's got a tub, the stand-up shower. It's a little awkward to step up and then up and over to get in there, but fine.
Yeah, but the one we lived had a tub too, and
yeah,
that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it is kind of this picture's deceiving. This part of the tub is down underneath a little bit of a thing. I think it's where something is up above, but you can stand. Yeah, a little bit there. You can see that it's a ledge going over there, so it's. Yeah, and then this is that third stateroom setup. So it's got a desk. The desk folds out. You can do homework and.
Can you pull that out more? Or is that as wide as it gets?
That's as wide as it gets. This flips up to be an upper bunk.
Oh, I see. So it's a little bit more room.
Yeah. So you can upper lower and bunk, and then this
door
swings around here to close this off from the master stateroom, and then this is a pocket door that slides out to connect.
Like
so he gets that privacy, and we get that privacy, and. It sounds like from the owners of the boat we were on that works.
Yeah,
and it's not ideal, but
grew up in the boat.
But it works. So yeah, and some storage in this guy too. So some drawers and a little bit of cabinetry. So
you said you saw laundry in the other boat.
Yeah, we saw laundry. We saw central vac. We didn't get down into these engines, but he also had Hino diesels like this boat has, which he didn't prefer, but. Is very common on these.
And he didn't have any problems with them?
He did just have getting parts.
Right.
That's his only complaint.
And this boat, I don't know if it has the laundry, but presumably.
Yeah. So that is the Bayliner 4588.
Right. So obviously not this one, it's in Florida, but since we're, still a ways out, maybe one will come around to the Great Lakes and we can look at it. So it's nice to see some yachts that even though they're not in the Great Lakes now, that especially since we've been on it, we know, hey, that's a total viable option.
Yeah. And so where we are in our boat search is we have done a bunch of these videos. We've kind of got our likes and our dislikes. We have our ideal case, and it's possible that it would be a boat we couldn't insure or a boat that we couldn't resell when we're done with our loop. So our plan is to buy a boat, do the loop, sell the boat. And if we have to sit on it a year, that has some downsides. So a desirable boat that someone else, we could pass it on to someone else would be good. But we don't know if we'll love or hate some of these options. And so being able to set foot on them, I think, is our next big step. So, and that is our plan, is to try to seek out ways where we can do that, whether that's connecting with people that are already on the loop, whether
strangers at a dock,
talking us into boats at the dock, or actually flying and going and seeing how many we could get in a single trip, and really get some bang for our buck, and trying to narrow it down so that once something comes on the market that we are very interested in, that we can actually pull the trigger. So thank you guys for coming along. Thank you for suggesting boats. Many people have suggested the Bayliner 4788, 4588, and even the 4388 in the past. So thank you very much for that. Join us next week for another happy hour. We'll pull up another boat and walk through it. Cheers.
Cheers.